call this little cocky motherfucker Kaboom.
What's up, pretty boy?
What are you doing?
I don't like that attitude.
This little angel-faced asshole is known as Guan Yin.
I am Guan Yin.
How do I know her name?
Guan Yin has done this.
Her name means Goddess of Mercy. Every single time. Yes, you are. Roy number 2, exactly like me. But it doesn't matter. Why?
Our story begins with Roy Pulver, a retired Delta Force soldier living in Atlanta. For reasons he doesn't understand, Roy has been stuck in a time loop for nearly 140 days, reliving the same deadly morning over and over again. Every single day at 7 a.m., he wakes up in his apartment. Moments later, an assassin bursts into his room trying to kill him. Roy has memorized every move by now. He dodges attacks, fights his way out, and barely escapes a gunman in a helicopter firing through his window. He knows exactly when the building will explode, where every killer will appear, and how to survive until a certain point. But no matter what he does, he always dies before 12:47 p.m. And then, the next second, he wakes up back in bed, starting the same day all over again. To understand how Roy got trapped in this nightmare, we go back to the day before the loop began. Roy's estranged wife, Gemma, had asked him to visit her at a secret military company called Dinow Labs, pretending it was for a job interview. Their meeting doesn't go well. They argue about Joe, their son. Gemma has told Joe that Roy is just a family friend. Heartbroken, Roy leaves the building. But while he's there, Gemma secretly takes a sample of Roy's hair for reasons she doesn't explain. At the same time, her boss, Colonel Clive Ventor, the powerful and ruthless head of Dinow Labs, spots Roy and becomes suspicious. Moments later, Ventor has Roy forcibly removed from the lab. When the loop starts, Roy doesn't know Gemma is dead. In one of his many loops, he tries calling her, but instead, Ventor answers the phone, coldly informing him that Gemma died the day before in a lab accident. Something about the story feels wrong. In another loop, Roy decides to find his son, Joe, who's skipping school to play in a video game tournament at Underground Atlanta. He spends the day with him, not telling him about Gemma's death, just trying to enjoy the time together. But the assassins eventually track Roy down. When they attack, Roy throws himself in front of his son, shielding Joe from gunfire. As he's dying, Roy whispers to the boy that he is his father. And then the loop resets. The next morning, Roy wakes again at 7 a.m. The same apartment, the same assassins, the same chaos. He realizes that the killers tracked him using a dental tracking device, one that was secretly implanted in his tooth by Alice, a woman he had gone on a date with the night before. She turned out to be one of the people helping Ventor's team monitor him. Now determined to uncover the truth, Roy begins using each loop to learn more and get closer to Dinow Labs. He memorizes every route, every assassin's pattern, and every weakness. Each reset becomes training, like a video game, until he perfects the moves to sneak into the heavily guarded facility. Inside Dinow, Roy faces deadly assassins again and again, including Guan Yin, a skilled warrior who kills him repeatedly with a sword. He also encounters Ventor, who finally reveals the truth. Gemma had been working on a secret device known as the Osiris Spindle, a massive quantum machine capable of rewriting time and history itself. Ventor plans to use the spindle to reshape the world and make himself its ruler. He also confesses that he killed Gemma after an argument when she tried to stop him from activating the machine. But Gemma had already started the spindle before her death. Now, with no one else able to control it, the device is running wild, and if it keeps operating too long, it will destroy the entire world. In later loops, Roy begins to piece together the puzzle. He remembers a birthday gift Gemma once gave him, a book that mentions the Egyptian god Osiris, the god of the afterlife. He realizes that Gemma must have used the spindle to place him inside the loop, to give him a chance to stop Ventor before it's too late. With renewed purpose, Roy trains hard, even learning sword fighting from a master named Dai Feng, one loop at a time. Eventually, he fights his way deep into Dinao Labs, kills Ventor, and destroys his army of assassins. But his victory comes too late. He discovers that Ventor's assassins were also sent to kill Joe, and by the time he gets to him, his son is already dead. Heartbroken and defeated, Roy holds Joe in his arms as the Osiris Spindle spirals out of control, exploding and ending the world. Everything turns to white, and Roy wakes up again in bed. After so many loops, Roy falls into despair. He spends dozens of days wandering through the same routine. No fighting, no running, just waiting for the world to end at 12:47 p.m. But then, something changes. He decides to stop running and start living again, spending his loops with Joe, bonding with him, laughing, eating, and being the father he never was. In one of those loops, Roy notices something strange. He realizes that Gemma made a phone call to Joe that morning, after he thought she was already dead. That means she's still alive when his day starts. If he can reach Dinao Labs in time, maybe he can save her. After countless calculations, Roy determines exactly when and where Ventor killed Gemma, 14 minutes after he wakes up each morning. So, on the next reset, he makes his most daring move yet. He hijacks the helicopter that usually attacks him, kills the pilot midair, and flies straight to Dinao Labs. There, he fights his way through the facility, killing assassins, dodging bullets, and finally confronting Ventor just seconds before he can murder Gemma. Roy kills Ventor and stops the cycle of death. Reuniting with Gemma, Roy tells her everything about the loops, about Joe, and about how he's seen the world end hundreds of times. Gemma explains that the Osiris Spindle can be reset from the inside, but someone must physically enter it. She tells Roy that if he does, one of two things will happen. Either he'll wake up again and relive the day one final time, or he'll die for real and stay dead forever. Roy looks at her, understanding the sacrifice he must make. He kisses Gemma one last time and walks toward the humming core of the spindle. As Gemma watches in awe, Roy steps inside, surrounded by swirling light and energy.